The fundamental misunderstanding that derails most men's relationships is the belief that a woman's loyalty is a transaction, a reward to be purchased with relentless acts of service and devotion. This script is ingrained early. Be nice, be generous. Give her the world. So men spend years bending over backward, believing that if they just try harder, sacrifice more, and erase their own needs, they will finally earn her love. They operate on the assumption that she wants a man who prioritizes her above all else, who never contradicts her, and who dedicates his entire being to her comfort and happiness. This is seen as the ultimate romantic ideal, the selfless devotee. But this entire approach is built on a critical error. The man who breaks himself to make her comfortable does not win her deepest affection. He inadvertently triggers her quiet contempt. She doesn't admire the man who gives away his soul just to be tolerated, because in his endless giving, he communicates a terrible message that he believes she is above him and that he is not worthy of her unless he pays for her attention with his time, energy, and peace of mind. This dynamic is fatal to genuine attraction. A woman cannot love a man she does not look up to, and it is impossible to look up to someone who has placed themselves beneath you. What she craves at her core is not the shallow comfort of having every whim catered to. That becomes predictable, boring, and ultimately emasculating. Instead, her psychology is wired to respond to something far more profound and essential: presence, strength, and certainty. Presence is the quality of being fully engaged and grounded in the moment, not lost in anxiety about pleasing her. Strength is not muscular force, but the inner fortitude to hold one's frame, to have convictions, and to lead. Certainty is the unshakable confidence in one's own path and values, which provides a sense of security that no amount of gifts can ever buy. These are the pillars of true attraction, yet most men, blinded by societal fairy tales, destroy their chances by offering everything except what actually fosters lasting loyalty. They give gifts, but not strength. They give attention, but not presence. They give promises, but not certainty. They are trying to solve an emotional puzzle with logical tools, and they are perpetually confused when they're perfect. Self-sacrificing strategy leads only to her loss of interest. To navigate the complexities of attraction, one must first accept a non-negotiable truth. Female psychology operates on an emotional frequency, not a logical one. This is the core of the misunderstanding. A man's mind is often wired for cause and effect. If I input X devotion, gifts, attention, I will receive Y love, loyalty, commitment. This is a transactional view of human connection, and it consistently fails because a woman's desire is not a logical equation to be solved, but an emotional state to be evoked. The things that stimulate her mind and spark her curiosity are often in direct opposition to what a linear process would dictate. This is why she can articulate a desire for a sweet, reliable, and consistently available partner, yet find her attention captured by someone who embodies none of those traits in the obvious sense. It's not that she is being deceitful, that her conscious mind is describing a logical ideal, while her innate attraction is responding to emotional stimuli. This emotional engine is powered by two key principles: challenge and earned value. Women are not drawn to men who worship them. They are drawn to men who challenge them. Worship is a one-way transaction that places her on a pedestal, isolating her and removing any sense of dynamic tension. Challenge, however, is an engagement. It is the presence of a man who has his own opinions, his own standards, and his own worldview, and who invites her to rise to his level, to engage with his mind, and to become part of his world. This is profoundly more attractive than simply being served. Similarly, they are not loyal to men who give them everything because an unearned gift has no value. Loyalty is forged for the man who makes her earn his investment, attention, and commitment. This process of earning creates value and meaning. The time she invests, the effort she expends to win his approval, these acts make her treasure the connection because she has a stake in it. She has worked for it. The man who constantly seeks to please, who bends and contorts himself to anticipate her every need, unknowingly communicates a devastating message that he believes she is above him. In his mind, he is being chivalrous and devoted. In her emotional reality, he is demonstrating that he lacks a core identity and that his value is dependent on her validation. This is the antithesis of attraction. A woman cannot truly love a man she does not look up to, and it is impossible to look up to someone who has voluntarily placed themselves beneath you. This is why respect is the absolute bedrock of desire. It is the non-negotiable prerequisite for love. Without a foundation of genuine respect, built on the perception of his strength and integrity, any professed love is fleeting and fragile. It is this prioritization of respect over comfort that explains the apparent contradiction between her words and her actions. Her logical mind might list qualities of a perfect, easy partner, but her primal psychology will always irresistibly respond to the silent language of strength, self-possession, and quiet authority. A man who misunderstands a woman's testing behavior is like a captain who mistakes the wind for a personal insult. He will constantly be off course and frustrated by a fundamental force of nature.
Ow.
These tests are not conscious acts of malice or petty games. They are an innate, subconscious mechanism wired into female psychology to measure a man's strength, integrity, and fitness as a partner. Every ignored text, sudden shift in mood, seemingly irrational argument, or a pointed question is, at its core, a probe. It is her way of asking, without using words, are you strong enough to hold your ground when I cannot hold mine? Can you still lead when I push against you? Is your center of gravity within yourself, or is it dependent on my approval? Often without realizing it, stress testing the foundation of the relationship to see if it can withstand the inevitable pressures of life and emotion. The man who fails these tests is the one who reacts directly to the surface-level chaos. He sees her mood swing as a problem he must immediately fix with appeasement. He meets an ignored message with a flurry of anxious texts, seeking to resolve the tension he feels. He responds to a challenge with lengthy, logical explanations, begging her to see his point of view. In doing so, he reveals that his emotional state is contingent on hers. He demonstrates that her actions can control him, that she can shake him from his purpose and his peace. This is the ultimate failure. It proves he is not the rock she can cling to in a storm. He is just another piece of debris being tossed around in it. Passing the test has nothing to do with fighting back or matching her energy. Strength in this context is not about being loud, aggressive, or controlling. True strength is the refusal to be pulled into the storm. It is the profound power of holding your frame, maintaining your boundaries, your mission, your values, and, most importantly, your calm regardless of the atmospheric pressure she creates. It means not needing her to be in a good mood for you to be okay. It means listening to her emotional vent without internalizing it as a crisis you must solve or a personal attack you must defend. It means responding to silence with quiet assurance, in yourself, not with panic. This unwavering stance is what provides the security she is truly seeking. A woman's emotions can be a turbulent sea. She doesn't need another unpredictable wave. She needs a solid shore, a man who remains steady, immovable, and definitive while she experiences her own intensity. His calm doesn't dismiss her feelings, it contains them. This ability to remain unshaken by her storms is what earns a depth of respect that compliments and gifts never can. It proves that he is governed by his own internal compass, not by her shifting winds, and that is the most attractive and reassuring quality a man can possess. The most confusing and painful paradox for a man who has followed the conventional script is witnessing a woman walk away from a relationship where he gave everything, his time, his attention, his unwavering support, only to see her drawn to a man who seems to offer less. This isn't a reflection of a woman's ingratitude, but a fundamental law of attraction rooted in psychology. The nice guy finishes last, not because he is too good, but because his strategy of endless giving violates the principles of value and scarcity. When a man makes a woman his entire universe, he communicates that he has nothing else of value in his orbit. His attention, because it is constant and unconditional, becomes cheap. It requires no effort on her part to acquire, and thus holds no worth. Her psychology is wired to respect what is scarce and must be earned, not what is abundant and freely given. As an unearned gift, no matter how expensive, is ultimately meaningless because it cost her nothing. This dynamic explains why comfort, the very thing men believe they are providing, ultimately breeds complacency and then active boredom. Human emotions, particularly female attraction, thrive on a degree of movement, tension, and uncertainty. Predictability is the death of intrigue. The man who becomes a routine, always available, always agreeable, always solving problems before they arise, slowly fades into the background of her life like comforting wallpaper. He becomes a source of stability, but not of stimulation. In contrast, the man who maintains an air of mystery, who is focused on his own mission and cannot be instantly available at her every whim, creates a gravitational pull. She must lean in. She must wonder. She must invest effort to secure his attention. Active investment is what makes that attention valuable to her. It's not that women enjoy suffering, it's that they are irresistibly drawn to the energy of a man who has a purpose greater than her. This leads to the most critical realization. A woman does not want to be the center of your world. She wants to enter a world that is already vibrant, compelling, and centered on you. The man who orbits her, constantly seeking her validation to feel complete, is seen as dependent and weak. His happiness is her responsibility, and that is a burden, not a gift. Conversely, the man whose life is already full, whose vision is clear, his purpose is defined, whose mission is paramount, it's an intoxicating energy of self-sufficiency. He is complete without her. This means she is not the source of his happiness, but a welcome addition to it. This is what creates genuine attraction. She doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to join you in yours. She wants to feel that she has earned a place beside a king in his court, not that she is the queen for whom the entire kingdom was desperately and anxiously built. A kingdom built for her approval is a fragile place. It's a kingdom built for a greater purpose is a place worth fighting to enter. The ultimate, unshakable foundation of loyalty is not built from what you give, but from what you refuse to lose: yourself. The final lesson a man must learn is to stop listening to a woman's words as a literal checklist and start understanding the silent language of her actions, which consistently reveal what her psychology truly requires. She may express a desire for endless comfort and unwavering devotion, but these things, when provided without limit, erode the very respect upon which lasting love depends. What she needs at the deepest level is not more proof of your affection, but undeniable proof of your character. This proof is demonstrated through an unwavering display of strength, not as brute force, but as the quiet confidence to uphold your boundaries without apology, to maintain your calm in the face of her emotional storms, and to remain steadfastly committed to your mission even when she attempts to pull your focus. This is what earns not just her affection, but her profound respect. This respect is the fertile soil in which real, enduring love grows, not the fleeting fairy tale infatuation that fades with time, but the resilient, chosen loyalty that endures, even when feelings shift and challenges arise. Without this bedrock of respect, love is a hollow performance, a temporary arrangement that will collapse under the first sign of pressure. A man who provides everything she asks for, except this. Core strength is like a builder who lavishly decorates a house built on sand. It may look ideal for a time, but it cannot withstand the inevitable storms. The man who understands this knows that loyalty is not purchased with sacrifices. It is commanded by the man whose own integrity and self-respect are non-negotiable. He knows that the greatest gift he can offer is not his servitude, but his stability. He is the anchor in the storm, not another wave being tossed about. This is why female psychology, often perceived as complex and contradictory, is in fact ruthlessly simple in its ultimate aim. It cannot and will not stay loyal to perceived weakness. It will instinctively drift, wander, and test, perpetually seeking the solid ground of strength. This is not a conscious choice of disloyalty, but a primal pull toward security. When this psychology encounters a man who is already whole, already powerful, and already grounded in his own truth, a man who refuses to betray his values, or abandon his path for external validation. It responds with submission, not in a sense of domination, but in a sense of profound trust and safety. It follows, it commits, and it respects. The journey, therefore, is an inward one. It demands that a man stop outsourcing his value to a woman's approval and instead focus on building a life and character so strong that she feels compelled to earn her place within it. The goal is to become the man whose presence is a reward in itself, not the man who is constantly rewarding her presence. In the end, she doesn't want what you think she wants from you. She wants what you are capable of becoming for yourself. She wants the man who refuses to break.